with Nino. And we got all the technical difficulties situated with my grandma. Say hi, Granny.
Hey, sugar. My hearing aid wasn't working, so I didn't hear you, baby. But I hear you now loud and clear. Go ahead.
All right, yes, ma'am. Well, I'm going to ask Nino to perform some poetry for us.
Awesome. Yeah, I got this first joint I'm going to do. I'm going to open up with a love joint. This was something I wrote about a month ago. Originally, I had already wrote it, and then I kind of revised it. But this is a love joint called Big Portions. Big Portions, and she be like, she be like an array of unmatched beauty. Intuition comes from the good depths of the soul. I sat in over a domino game, which basically became a composite of short talks that consisted of younger days, encased with the luxury of actual playful and aggressive competition between two players vying for the win. Inquisitive she, taking the time out of her day, a busy schedule to also see what inspires me. But we've spoken so much in the past 24, subjects exchanged frequently but spoken on so thoroughly during the durations. What's presumed to be in store, and also past metaphors that have now turned into our own realities. Her lessons learned, my wisdom gained. Moments of our eyes meeting seem to make the atmosphere hang on to our every movement. She be like distant closeness. Thoughts only matter when they're intertwined. Not mind sex, but something just as good and intimate. It's funny how time flies when you're focused on what matters most at a certain moment in time. Enjoying one's company, and I think old timers would be a little jealous. Our hands occasionally touching one another. Butterflies ain't even an issue, even though I'm sure that they should be. Conversations bring more stories, connections embraced in the arms of side-by-side affection, her head on my shoulder. Speaking of confrontation, some amusing, but all still with the same end. Time allows us to take in each other's prideful gestures of love, so I put my bid in to keep up with her fiery but dignified comebacks. Restoring her hope in relationships, leaving the past behind, and it's so much easier said than done. Big portions for her, bring me into her world, into her life, into her love. That's that piece.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
That was a nice poem. I like that. Okay, I got another question for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Who or what is your biggest inspiration?
Oh man, I got so many influences that I could name. But when I was younger, back in the day, all I heard throughout the house, my mom is an avid Tupac fan. So I used to hear, all his thug songs, but then also the positive songs and all the songs in between. And him being, crossing over from rapping to poetry to acting and producing, his poetry kind of caught me because it's different. And that's what I want to be as far as what I do. And so far, I've pretty much succeeded with being just different with what I do as far as writing and performing. And everybody after that, a lot of guys on the East Coast that I look up to, Chris Styles, Sheehan is probably one of my biggest influences. He's probably the best poet to ever come through Def Jam poetry. And so yeah, those are probably my biggest influences as far as poetry goes.
You can never go wrong with Tupac.
Oh,
Never.
Yes, indeed. I still want to find out who shot him.
Really, Granny?
They did that man wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Martin Luther King used to talk to him. See? Back in the day, we didn't have poetry. All we did was we sung those little underground songs, like "Wade in the Water." Y'all heard that?
I know that.
Yeah,
Now
yes,
they just
ma'am.
abuse. They just abuse, and they try to rap that. You can't rap that, honey. You gotta sing it like.
Who'd you hear trying to rap Wade in the Water?
What's that child named Half a Quarter?
50 Cent.
Oh, 50 Cent.
Grandma, half a quarter.
I don't know his name, Sugar.
Yes, ma'am.
They need
Yes,
to let
ma'am.
these old folks come back like Al Green and talk about some love and happiness. Ain't nobody got no happiness. They all look around everybody just looking all mean like they just ate a piece of sour lemon. It's all mean. Ooh, mean.
Okay, Granny. On that note, We're gonna get into some John B right now. My favorite song.
Uh-oh.
They don't know.
They don't know. I already knew it. That's good, man.
You silly.
You silly.